banks hoping for a fine. Chesterfield Kings are blowing my mind. Bash, bash. Bebop non-stop, rave up over there. 3 o'clock, freak beats chewing on her hair.
I read this book called Shout about the Beatles being in like Hamburg and what have you. And they said so-and-so was a real teddy boy. And then the slang, in the book it mentioned that, oh, he was a real terror. Then that became he was a real tearaway. So I thought, hey, this is a guy, we wore leather jackets and he would hang out in a pub, and we weren't really, killing people or beating up people so much, but I just thought it was a cool name, Tearaway.
Right.
So we named the band the Tearaways, and I just thought that was a good name. From that, scan ahead to 2005, going to England and playing for the first time in England, and people actually knew what a tearaway was. In America, they thought a tearaway was, oh, are you ripping a piece of paper? What is it? For 20 years, I had to try to answer the question of what that meant. Oh, that's cute. You're tearing like your clothing or something. I go, no. So we got to England, of course. Oh, they knew what a tearaway was, And so I thought that was actually kind of cool when we came in for the first time, because it was like, hey, you get it. You get our joke. You get what we do,
Yeah.
So what's your name? Say your name.
Lawrence.
Very nice to meet you. So, when you think of the image of a tearaway, what's a tearaway to you?
Young chap, a young guy who's a little on the edge of the law, doing what he wants to do, not what society wants him to do. A little bit on the edge, rough and ready. Oh, he's a tearaway. You better watch him. Yeah.
So I've been with the Tearaways, which we really kind of rebranded. Finn and I met we met back in the 80s. So let me go way back. So John, you've met, and John Farrier.
Yeah.
John and I met, and we were university students at the University of California, Santa Barbara, UCSB. And when I met him, he was the program director for KCSB, the radio show. And I was in a different band then, an original band, and he had me on his program. And so we met at that time. We didn't play together. He was also our student body president, so everybody kind of knew John. You've met John, you know John. He's very, he just knows everybody. And
Yeah.
So we became, acquaintances, sort of friends. And then I met Finn separately. He was playing in the Tearaways, which in Santa Barbara, the Tearaways started, I think, in late 70s, early 80s, I think.
Yeah.
And I was in a different band at the time playing around, and John was in a different band. We were all in different bands that were playing. The Tearaways broke up, and Finn and I got together and started a different band called The Volcanoes, which released a record. And then he and I, we clicked right from the beginning musically, just because we could both sing and we loved melody and harmony and singing. So we have had a partnership since then. And so we were in a few other bands. And then ultimately what happened is we picked a band name called Ghost Town, which was Finn and I and what was this band. And we got a letter from a lawyer about 2 months later saying somebody else had the name. And so we said, let's just use the Tearaways' old name. We loved the name. It was true to what we loved in music. And so we sort of rebranded. And really at that time it was kind of the new Tearaways. And we weren't doing as much dockside rock leather jacket stuff. We were just writing songs with melody and harmony, and it's what we loved.
I've been in it at least 25 plus. It says 1981, but the original member was Finn, who you interviewed.
Yes.
And he had that as early as high school. And then the name got pretty much appropriated again by a relatively current incarnation of this band. And I liked it. I said, Tearaway. I'll be a Tearaway.
You think your writing's it's organic, I guess, writing. So when you're 15, 16, you're writing stuff to the way you are now. You write about different things. Do you find that you're a different sort of animal these days with the writing?
Well, I would hope so. I would hope I've progressed. I would hope that I've learned. But I try to write from the heart, or I try to write, observations. I read an article about somebody who went into a chapel in Vegas to marry his cell phone. So we have a new song that we'll be recording called "I Now Pronounce You Man and Wi-Fi." you know, we do. You go through the various experiences you go through, and they motivate you. So
I don't know if they've changed the way we think. I just feel like Kindred. Yeah, with those types of bands, I know that. Oh, okay, they get us, Oasis and Jet, and the bands out of here. They would like. Well, I think they might like us. I can't say that. We love them though. So
they're absolutely fun. I mean, would you? I don't know, when you come to Manchester or say even to Newcastle, would you think about doing a cover from a band from, say, I think the Animals were from Newcastle?
yeah, that's right. They were from Newcastle. Yeah, we were talking about that last night.
Yeah. So maybe just sit down and say, we'll do House of the Rising Sun or something like that, or, you know, maybe if you're in Manchester, do an Oasis cover.
You know, we've done, quite frankly, thousands of covers over the years, because Finn and I, you know, had to survive off of cover music for a long time, and so that was our repertoire. We had hundreds and hundreds of songs at one time that we would do, and we've done all those.
It certainly seems that way. I mean, it's music for all ages, it really is. And so, one thing I've noticed that I really like about playing in the UK is that age is not really a determining factor versus like in the States. I think it's opened up more. I think the States are following more of the UK's lead on this. Oh, you can't be a bunch of old men playing in a band and whatever. And I was watching all these great players. If you can play, that's all that mattered.
Yeah.
So age was less. We felt a little more at ease. So we have fans who were watching the Beatles in the day, and now there are fans. Yet we have some really young kids, you know, high school and all that, and so everybody in between.
my influences really came from the Beatles. I was the youngest of 5. I had older brothers and sisters. I literally stole their records and listened to everything. I listened to the Beatles, I listened to the Stones, I listened to Jefferson Airplane, I listened to the Who, to the Kinks, to the Bee Gees, Steve Miller Band, Grateful Dead. It was a lot of that stuff. But I grew up on AM radio. So anything that was an AM hit, bubblegum, whatever, ranging from the Archies to Simon and Garfunkel, were things that influenced me. And then when I was in college, high school I did radio. I was an on-air DJ. In college I was an on-air DJ, and I started playing music with my friends, the guys that I'm playing with now. So we really started playing in college, and we've had this friendship for, you know, well over 30 years.
It's where John's helped us a lot too, because through his resources, we've been able to do. It's pretty much once he came back 4 years ago, we completely turned the tide. So look, we're just doing originals now. We're not going to do covers anymore. You know, there's a bit of a backlash in our hometown. People that wanted to come out and see that stuff, and so, but there's been an uptick in all other sorts of activity, including 3 records in the last 3 years that we put out, and that kind of stuff. Like, we've just completely focused on the art, and it's been way more rewarding.
So anyway, the good news is that people came just in good spirits, and I think the band, you know, the more you play, and the more you play together, and the more we've been able to do these shows with Clem, it's an incredible experience for us, and it's an incredible learning experience, because he really is that good.
Even after all these years in the business, you can still say that, I get it, I can learn, I can pick up things.
Well, we were talking about it the other day, and I think the thing that's important, there's nobody else like him in this business. There's nobody else that's still the cornerstone of their band, who's a drummer, who's got 40 some odd years experience, who plays with the ferocity and the passion that he plays with. There are other great drummers in the business. Kenny Aronoff is a great drummer, plays with a number of different people, and we've been fortunate to play with Kenny. Buddy Carlos from Cheap Trick is a great drummer. There are lots of these people that are out there. But Clem, you know, he's in a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame band. They're on the road playing all these dates. He finished a date playing a huge park in New York. And then the next day he's on a plane, he flies over and he meets us in Dublin. And then we play in Limerick, you know, and he plays with the same ferocity, the same passion, and the same professionalism that he did a day and a half before, playing for 40,000 people in a park. So I respect the hell out of him and his work ethic, and it's inspiring to me, because I work in the business, and then the band is really a passion project. And somebody said to me, they go, "Oh, the band's a vanity project." And I said, let's be very clear. All bands are vanity projects. Every band in the world is a vanity project.
Well, it's funny, we had a bit of a Spinal Tap moment on this tour, where we were in the basement of someplace trying to find our way to the dressing room. We got lost, and we were all doing the Spinal Tap thing. Rock and roll!
Brilliant. So what's it? Actually, I've got to ask you this question because I sort of alluded it to one with Finn earlier about the Manchester bombings.
Yes.
And obviously I can't really sort of let you go without asking you about that. But I asked Finn and he gave me his impression. It was great. What I'd like to ask you is that I remember it was on the Monday night and Simple Minds were playing on the Tuesday at the
Right.
Bridgewater Hall, and they came into some real flack because they decided they were going to play that. I thought, if I get John here, and if that was the Tearaways, what would you have done?
I would have played. And the reason why I would have played is because you have to start healing right away. The moment you allow terrorists, and terrorist is a very interesting word because it can mean jihadists or whatever, people looking different. Like there are all kinds of applications that can be the word terrorist. A terrorist could be a family member who just wants to strike terror into everyone because they've got a very different agenda. And I believe the moment you allow terrorists to disrupt, it's all about disruption for them, to disrupt your life, they win. So if it was me, I would have wanted to play.
Right.
I would have wanted to be respectful to the families, and everybody needs time to heal, but you have to start the healing.
I mean, we felt it with 9/11.
Yeah.
You know, and we were in New York, not soon after that thing happened, and saw the site, and I mean, and saw that whole thing happen. Well, Manchester holds a spot for me in my heart more because my wife's from Manchester. I met her in Liverpool at the Cavern Club, as a matter of fact.
Right.
And her family all is from Manchester. Her father worked for the airport at Manchester, was a police officer or whatever. And so I thought when I first heard of what had happened, I thought, you know, it was any of her family member, you know, like more than just a random city, right? Like, because my wife's family's from here.
Yeah.
Thank goodness none of them were there. But it makes me feel, I have a wave of different feelings. I feel anger. You know, that's the initial thing I initially felt. I felt very angry.
Yeah.
Like, look, you know, then I feel loss. I really feel loss. But it's hard, you know, you know, and then, you know, you feel, you know, how could this have been prevented, you know? You know, then you go into that whole routine, and it's like a circle, right?
Yeah.
It's like you start feeling this, that, and then it comes back, and it's, you know, it's further and further away.
Yeah.
So coming back here and playing, I mean, I'm playing here. I feel it needs to heal. It needs to get, you know, the cliche, you know, time heals. It never really heals with something like this, but you do the best you can, right?
Yeah.
And that's how I feel.
Oh, he's a tearaway. You better watch him.